Hello, friends, and welcome to our August of 2025 astrological preview video. My name is Jenny Sellers. I am the creator and founder of True North Empowerment, a holistic energy-based practitioner company that provides insight and wisdom and guidance for the road ahead. So, welcome to August, friends. How did we make it through July? July was an interesting and very dynamic month for us. If you'll recall, Uranus transited into Gemini for the first time in 84 years in the middle of July, or I guess it was more like in the first week of July. And this brought about, or it starts a new 7 year cycle of powerful transformation and change inside of the archetypes and the themes that Gemini bring with us. Things like communication, idea formation, thought creation, new ideas, how we share those new ideas, how do we communicate with others. And I always like to remind people this point about Gemini and Mercury. Mercury's Gemini's ruling planet, that when we're talking about communication, we're talking about not just the outward expression of communication, we're talking about the second half of communicating, which is also the receiving end of things. We can't successfully communicate with others if we're only talking at them or talking to them. We actually have to pause, listen to the response, and integrate the information that's coming back to us for successful communication to happen. And so Gemini and Mercury really rule over all of that. And so Uranus, the powerful planet of transformation and change, is stepping into Gemini for the first time in 84 years. It'll spend about 7 years here. And so it's going to bring transformation and change to communication, both intrapersonally as well as intracommunally, if you will. So this is brand new energy for us. We also had the full moon in Capricorn last month, which encouraged us to figure out ways that we could kind of release that tight grip on our to-do list, on things that maybe don't serve us anymore, and how we really show up for finishing and completing projects that that might no longer be aligned with ourselves. And so how do we let go of some of those to-dos so that we could focus more fully on Leo season, which encourages us for more play, more creativity, more spontaneity, all of that. So that was a little bit of what we were walking through in July. Also, one other quick note to note about July: Saturn went retrograde as it has recently stepped into Aries. And so we're stepping into a time here in August where we have, at one point in the month, four different planets in retrograde. So August is a time for us to really kind of slow down, to reflect, to think about the inner things that are changing inside of us and how we want to show up in the world. The four planets that are in retrograde in August are Mercury at one point, Saturn, Neptune, and Pluto. And so all of those planets, we've got communication, structure, foundations, really kind of checking things off of the to-do list. We have our dreams, our visions, our goals, and how do we bring that into reality? And then we have Pluto, another very powerful planet of transformation and change, all slowing down during August. So just be aware that it's a wonderful month for self-reflection in all of those areas, as well as reminding ourselves about that communication piece, because Mercury will stay in retrograde through the first half of August. It will go direct on August 11th. So really just knowing that the words we say might get a little bit muddled, but also the filter through which we receive incoming information can be a little bit hazy as well. And so just give yourself some grace as you're trying to approach conversations and important ones with friends, family, coworkers, whatever. But also be prepared for your filter to be a little skewed as you're receiving that input back from them. If we can give others grace as we're listening to them, Mercury retrograde will be a breeze. So, on August 1st, we have Venus newly in Cancer as well, making a square to Saturn and Neptune in Aries. And so Venus being the planet of relationships, both with ourselves and with others, being in Cancer can be a little bit of a feely spot for Venus to be. And it's going to butt up against the energy of, if we've got energy coming up one angle and we've got 90-degree angle kind of cutting off that energy. That's what a square is. It's tension. It's a tension point because the energy does not flow very well. And Saturn and Neptune being in Aries is going to kind of challenge some of those relationships and how we feel like we need to achieve what we need to achieve inside of those relationships. And so August 1st, that square happens. It's going to hark back to the full moon in Capricorn. So mid-July, what is resurfacing and how is that energy kind of getting stuck? Then we jump into that second week of August. We've got a lot of Mars energy here. Mars is transiting out of Virgo and going into Libra. And as it does that, it's going to form an opposition to Saturn and Neptune in Aries. Again, how do we do what we need to do inside of our relationships? And where is it that we're headed? What are our dreams, our goals, our visions? And how do we make that happen? The planet of motivation is going to be feel at odds. It's going to feel like there's push pull energy, maybe some false start energy, some wanting to take action, but not really knowing how in those areas of relationships. But so that's all happening around the 6th. Come the 8th and the 10th, we're getting a little bit of supportive energy in the relationship field from some trines that are happening to Uranus and Pluto, both of which are very powerful planets of change. So when we think about being motivated to really take action inside of our relationships, both again with ourselves and with others, we do have this energy that's supportive of that. On the 9th, we have the full moon in Aquarius. So we've got some shifting tides, the opportunity to really look at what we need to release and let go of to help ourselves really build the community that we want to be a part of. Aquarius is a sign of friendships on a smaller scale, but then on a larger scale, it's the sign of humanity. And so it's like, what are we doing to serve our communities is oftentimes a question that we ask. And how do we let go of some things that allow us to do that? Or maybe if we've been on overdrive serving our communities so much that we've been neglecting ourselves, it's what do we need to let go of to kind of take the lessons we've learned from our communities and really put that to work for ourselves. So the full moon on the 9th is in the sign of Aquarius. On the 11th, Mercury goes direct. And then the best part about that, because we get that reprieve from some of those communication befuddlements, the best part about Mercury going direct on the 11th is that we have this beautiful window of opportunity from August 14th to the 18th, where we have super supportive energy in communication, as we have a few aspects that are being made to Mercury and Aries that are just super supportive of opening up good communication. So hang tight through the first half of August as far as communication goes. Come the 14th and 8th through 18th, we should be feeling a lot more at ease there. On the 19th, the sun in Leo is going to trine Chiron, which is also retrograde in Aries. And so we have this opportunity to really kind of have the light shining on our needs and feel supported in really kind of healing a little bit. This is a powerful moment of self-healing that is at play. On the 22nd, we enter Virgo season. So we step out of this beautiful space during the summer where we are really focused on having fun and letting loose and allowing our inner child to shine, kind of stepping out into the spotlight, being spontaneous. And come the 22nd and the 23rd, as the sun goes into Virgo and then we have the new moon in Virgo, we're getting down to business. We've had our fun. And through that fun, we've learned that there are some new routines that we might need to establish, some new habits that we might want to form. Virgo season is the time every year where we really get down to brass tacks and we focus on the how of it. How are we going to take what we've learned through the first 5 or so months of the astrological year and really put it into work, build some structure and some foundation around it so that by the time we get to Capricorn season, we can really start to check things off that list. So we're entering a space where we are focused on the to-dos and how we want to get into a space that we feel proud of. So new routines can be health routines, can be new food plans, can be I just want to meditate for 5 minutes every day, whatever it is that you need to establish to help yourself feel more grounded. That's what Virgo energy is all about. Throughout the end of the month, we have some more squares, so some more points of tension. Um, on the 24th, we have the sun newly in Virgo making a square to Uranus and Gemini, that brand new energy that we just talked about at the beginning of the video. That asks us to kind of focus on what pain points we have that need organizing from July and all that we've brought forward with us through July 4th, which was when this new energy kind of started showing up for us. So, what pain points need to be addressed from July? We have this opportunity come the 24th and on to really kind of focus down on that. And then we have some powerful positive energy through the end of the month. I will also point out that we are entering in August the pre-eclipse shadow phase. Our eclipses are coming in September. And so we are in the space of time towards the middle of the month where we really start to kind of feel some of those changes and transitions that might start to kind of bubble up inside of us. So we've got eclipses happening in September, and we will talk about that more in next month's video. So in August video, as we look ahead to September, what do we have to look forward to with the eclipse season that will set off the next 6 months? So until then, take extra good care, reach out if I can be of service, and I will see you soon. Bye for now.